Started with Muhammad al-Mahdi as the guide. From Sudan, sparked a chain reaction felt worldwide. Deuce Ali spread the doctrine, I was blessed. Educated from the shrine, taught our prophet in. Great liberator, noble Drew called us Moors and taught us from the temple. Quran circle 7, Morris law for the mental. Garvey's red, black, and green flag, a message to the people said, Africa for Africans can overcome the evils. Then came our messenger, the Honorable Elijah. Said the black man is God and white devil is a liar. Clarence 13X, the father, Haile Selassie. Kwame and crewmen, Sheikh Dawood Fasil, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Dr. Ben, Dr. King, Khalid Muhammad, all connected. A whole system set up, the forces all to forget it. Mother Nature selected Malachi to tell a story. Reminders of our greatness, he was sent to guide us back to our glory.
So we got the two questions, but before they ask their questions, I wanted to say it would be good probably on the show if the 15th elder could break circumology down to words like wizard, warlock, witch, and things like that so people can get a real good understanding of what those mean. You and young elder. So anyway, Keith Kennard was next.
Yes. I had a question about meditation. I've been meditating for a long time, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it or moving forward with it. You know, even in a real quiet situation, and, you know, I'm just trying to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Trying to elevate past the beginning stage.
I would love to answer that question, brother. Well, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna give you a perspective, okay? You have an answer yourself, but I'm gonna give you a perspective to add to what's been going on so that you can see your way out of it. As you meditate, you gotta know what it is meditation actually is. It's the change from one state to another. So you're traveling when you meditate. When you meditate, you're supposed to be able to focus. If you can't focus, meaning there has to be a clear mind state and you have to not be talking. The meditation takes place on the inside of you with the real you, because the body that you're driving is not you. You ain't nothing but the ether that goes in and out of that body continuously. So you can leave that body, see? If you recognize that you're that ether, then you have to understand when you meditate, you have to visualize too if you want to travel. These visualizations take you into a point in what they call time. Time doesn't exist. The now is the only thing that's real. So when you go into a meditation, you'll travel on what I like to call the eons, which are the ions in the air. You are as small as a light photon particle driving that body. You're not as big as your body. When you're out of the body, no one can see you unless they have a particular lens to see you, and that's called clairvoyance, that lens. Right? So when you're meditating, you're wanting to travel. That traveling allows you to get guidance to come back in this state, the third dimension, wake up from the meditation state, right? And then you're able to go research, which is search, or go on a quest, because you wake up with questions. As soon as you come out of the meditation state, you should be going, man, I got questions. Those questions lead to answers as well, which is why you're here today asking the question, why am I not changing? You are. You're being led to find answers. That's part of the change. People have to learn to respect the process too. Not all plants grow at the same speed. If I pull you up at the roots too fast, I could kill you. So I have to let you or coast you through slowly. And then Shil Netharu will coast you through slowly because they know that's what you need. Mm-hmm. They're not going to just full blast you with a bunch of information, tear your head off, and have you out here in the streets trying to tell everybody this information. And you know they're not going to accept it anyway. They just call you crazy, put you in a straitjacket, and have you in a padded room and within 24 hours. They're looking for people like us to step out there sounding crazy. So you have to be able to use a science, and there's a science here that we teach on that subject where we can communicate this knowledge to people without arguing with them. And you can open their brains up, their crown chakra up. This is the age of Aquarius. Meditation happens all day. You don't have to be sitting there in Indian style or the full lotus position with your back up against the wall in a cramped up, non-feel-good position to meditate. Meditation takes place in deep thought, thinking with the inner eye at any time of the day. You can be eyes wide open, looking right across the room at somebody staring off into space. Nothing, as they call it. And they'll be going, hey, snapping their fingers in front of your face till you start what? Blinking. Blinking is the signal that your vehicle does when you're trying to alert other vehicles. Okay? Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I dug deep into what meditation meditation is for first before I broke into you do meditate at different times of the day. You don't have to be sitting in a dark state to meditate. Close your eyes and there's the darkness. So as soon as you close your eyes, you can meditate. You can open your eyes and focus and stare. As long as you stare and star and stir are the same word. They've been jumbled around by other magicians that know how to write language. Magic is always in the symbolism and how the symbolism controls the mind, because the mind controls everything else. And I hope that answers your question, big brother.
Brother Kennard, you can go ahead. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay,
I'm gonna do it.
Ad lib on what my brother just said. What he was saying too, to break it down. So when you go to sleep at night, you meditate. And meditating is actually the art of listening versus sending a message. They call it prayer, right? We don't say prayer because pray is the thing that beasts do in the field. We send messages when you go to sleep. They call it dream, but it's no such thing as really dream. That world is just as real as this world. They call it daydreaming. They got different types of dreams. It's actually reality. Doing meditation, it's a listening phase. I just wanted to add that. And if the other brother goes, we will come back in.
You got Famous, Frills, and then CeeLo. Go ahead, Frills.
Hey, what's going on? Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm a DJ, so I definitely can relate. And earlier, I was just listening to some music, and I just was listening to it in 432 and listening to it in 440. And I was just wondering, like, what was the purpose of them switching that 432 to the 440?
Well, actually, it was at 500, and the Germans tuned it down 60 to 440, like on A, right? What that was is to throw your brain frequency off, try to throw your rhythm off. Us as Nubians, we vibrate on a certain wavelength. That's why they always make the radio stations, if you notice, Nubian radio stations is always between 90 and 100 and something, right? And they put it on an FM frequency, right? And then Caucasian shows is all on lower frequencies, AM frequencies. They had already ran ahead of us and figured out that our brain operated at 900 terahertz. So what they were gonna do is to slow us down. Now we gotta get rid of analog music. We gotta get rid of stuff that's played live guitars, live acoustics, and live drum set, like the brother was talking about the drums, right? So they had to get rid of that and come in with this digital or this computerized type music to alter the frequencies. Go ahead, brother. Somebody else got the hand up.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. That's interesting. Thank you very much, young elder. You really clarified a lot of things for me also. You know, I remember being in high school, you know, we was jamming to like Mr. Big stuff, you know, and the Brothers Johnson, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Then all of a sudden, I remember at the party, they played a record called Trans-Europe Express by Kraftwerk. Anybody ever heard of that?
Well, you know I did, bro.
Yeah. Trans-Europe, right. And we all looked at each other at the party like we couldn't even dance. You know, later on we adopted, we came up with the robot, of course, like, you know, us Moors, how we do. We always adopt to anything. But yeah, that was the crucial point. It all happened in the 70s when they, you know, and then little by little, they did kill the analog. I remember we used to record on the 2-inch tapes down to the 1/4 inch, the 2-inch, and now it's all digital. I can do everything on my computer over here, you know, my laptop, you know, with Pro Tools and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that was the switch. You know, the Germans did that because the Germans always been ahead in science. You know what I'm saying? In technology when it came to sound. Their physicists, it's crazy how their physicists, man, there's a documentary, man, I can't remember it offhand, but it shows how these scientists from Germany created the Mini-Moog, you know, that instrument, the Mini-Moog, and all the synthesizers and stuff like that. That's all physics. That's dealing with frequencies. They were able to take those frequencies that are out here, that are in the universe, take those frequencies, bring them logically, mathematically, put them into instruments. And that was the switch, because as humanity, we're making a switch now to the 4th Industrial Revolution. Everything is becoming AI, you know, in the Internet of Things, the blockchain technology, even the music is becoming digitized. You know what I'm saying? The NFTs and, you know, that whole world, the metaverse, what they call it. So it's a switch. You know, like I said, we always adopt. I think it's so important to stay also grounded with your roots. Ground yourself with your roots. Everybody should have a djembe or drum in the house. You should always have a djembe because that's honoring your ancestors. And then you get down and you play a little rhythm once in a while with your children, your family. You play a little rhythm. Yeah, you know, man, it's beautiful. I come from a family that we all played drums, and when we got together, it was pots and pans and all that. But that's interesting. You know, yeah, there is a shift. They did switch of things. If you notice, a lot of the new music coming out now, it has a certain frequency.
All right, thank you, big bro. Appreciate that. With everything that you're saying, like, let me show you this if you didn't see this part, right? Because everything y'all saying is correct. This is all magic. Everything's how magic works. When you get to the basis of magic, it's magnetism in every form of magnetism. That deals with tones as well. Tones are magnetic. Tones are gas coming out of your body. Tones also shape and form things and reform and shape things into different figures. Is how we got our shape in the first place, is vibrating on a certain frequency that holds the auric egg together. So the science of it makes it more magic once you start getting into the higher science of electromagnetism. You start getting into engineering, quantum physics, regular physics, metaphysics. You start getting into every degree of all this stuff, you're gonna start finding out magic is not something that you haven't been privy to using. You've been using magic your whole life. A lot of us been on autopilot being used as instruments by other magical warlocks. I like to call them the ones that are a part of the governmental structure, not the true government, which is the people, like Elder Simeon L. reminds us. The people is the true government, but the other government wants to control the true government with their witchcraft. The witchcraft that they use from a perspective is the educational system, the religious system, the working system, the bills, and the rent. These systems here are a type of witchcraft that keep you locked in to a slave mode of focus where you have to serve and serve and serve and think you got to serve to get out of it. When in actuality, you do have to serve to get out of it. You're just not serving the right master. The right master would be you. You belong to the all. You belong to the Most High. So the right master would be you, because you would be the master that's the caretaker of the planet. You need to use your healing magic. Like he said with the music, we heal with music. We actually can sing in the plants that we are planting in the houses like the music too. Music is not just planetary, it's intergalactic and interdimensional. Vibrations of music ripple through dimensions. They don't just stay in the third, they travel. So what you play in music notes, you can travel on as well, even in the body or out the body. As I was stating earlier, when meditation takes place, you can meditate. When you start to hum and align yourself with the vibration of the planet, you can do traveling, because you travel on a note, right? Note and tone is the same word, okay? Tone is ton, and ton is weight, and weight, right, deals with volume. So when you give off a musical note, depending on how loud it is, it also depends on how heavy it is or how light it is when it travels through interdimensionally. Go ahead, Brother Shilos.
Wow, that's deep, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody here, man. You're really dropping in some great knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? You're confirming a lot of things. You gotta excuse me. I'm 60 years old. Sometimes my mind just like, you know, I'm working on it. The masses of people and tones, somatics. And I'm sorry to keep getting on like this. It's just that this is my area of interest. You know what I'm saying? When I was studying at the university, I wanted to be an acoustical engineer, you know what I'm saying? So, but I went into the performance area at NYU, CNAP. And so it's interesting, this conversation, you know what I'm saying? And now people are now paying more attention, you know what I'm saying? I was reading also in Live Science that there are some radio frequencies coming from the center of the galaxy. Anybody saw that? There's an article in Live Science. They're saying that the Earth is being bombarded by radio frequency coming from the center of the galaxy, this radio frequency. So we're being bombarded by these tones galactically. At the same time, they're trying to block it here on Earth by giving us these other tones, like everyone mentioned here, that seems to be a little detrimental, or not detrimental, but it's not in tune with our natural tones that our genetics have tone, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, somebody's raising their hand, so I'll let you.
Thank you, big brother. Go ahead, Brother Simeon L. And greetings.
Greetings, everyone. Just wanted to add to the commentary, subliminal messages, those are used in television, radio, and etc. They're even used in the outer environment in the inner cities. You can look up something called Silent Weapons for Silent Wars and start learning on that. The brain can distinguish sound down to 2 microseconds. And so they actually break up sound where it'll be a pattern, play, stop, where they can actually enter your consciousness. Music is one of the rare phenomena that can actually enter your psyche without your permission. Just about everything else you have to give permission to, but it can actually affect you. And as I think it was Elder was saying earlier, they do tune all of these radio frequencies from TV to television, AM to FM, to your cell phones, to data information, even your Wi-Fi. they're all tuned at frequencies equivalent to the chakra vibrations that manifest in different organs in your body to offset and interrupt your ability to function properly. So I'm just adding to the conversation. Everybody's already pretty much aware of what's going on. They use this stuff against us, which is why we should have our own media. Once again, we don't produce anything. They control our media. They control our culture. They give us what we call black. They give us what we call fashion, even though it stems from us and they copy it, mass produce it, but they always add something to it negative. So never think they don't. I'm not a musician, but I've done audio engineering, DJ'd and stuff like that for years. I'm an audiophilist. I have a very sensitive ear, so I'm aware of some of these things. And I study them as well, and I yield.
You got Amun Muzak and then Eric Muhammad. Go ahead, Amun Muzak.
Yes, good evening, brothers. How y'all doing?
Hey, now.
Yeah, with the music, that plays a big part of my life. You know, I try to put out good, positive music because it's all about frequencies and it coming back to you because we are universes and we gravitate to positive and negative.
Hey, I just want to say that track Fire, man. That's right here, the brother whose song was on the tape that we put out today. Go ahead.
Lies. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Right. Don't lie. And I got another song called Spaceship, and it's kind of too explicit, you know, for everybody. But that's what I'm on. I'm on some like a cosmic vibe, man, to wake the masses up because we don't got a lot of time. Nubaru is here. They're ready to pick everybody up. It's just we just gotta go to that next level of positivity and brotherly love and just show them more good vibes with your walk, with your talk, with your thinking. Like when you just drive and somebody cuts you off, you gotta just put these positive vibes back out there. That's all I gotta say.
Got Eric Muhammad, but I want to say this before Eric goes. The 15L helped us out on that. That's how come our conferences have become much more organized and stuff. He has told us that nobody's wrong, it's their perspective. And we could tolerate one another. We could say our point of view and we don't have to get all heated or anything about it because the young elder says that, you know, we take it and we put it all together. We'll listen and read everything. There's no subjects that's taboo to us. And there's no subjects that's taboo to people who are increasing their intellectual capacity of their brain. So you got to go there because at whatever point that you go to, you're going to be the one that chooses. So just because you know something doesn't mean that you won't choose that as your life. You're going to choose one thing or another. You're not going to choose both at the same time because you can't do that. Eric Muhammad.
Yeah, this is Eric Muhammad again. I was having problems unmuting my mic, but I didn't really have no question done. I was just saying, Robert, back to everybody that's on the phone and you know, peace and glad to see so many participants, bro. So that's all I wanted. I was just giving a shout out to everyone, man, and glad to be a part, basically.
We're glad to have you, Robert.
Robert. Hey, the 15th, want to go in on that what circumology is so people can get an understanding on it.
Okay, to give an overview of what circumology is all about, it's all about finding a balance no matter where you are. The energy can be off in the room. A mind view like circumology, you'll be able to balance yourself mood-wise and you'll be able to balance others' moods. Okay, it teaches you to read energy as a language. Most of y'all learn how to do this in different ways. I'm gonna teach you how to do this by the words, the spells that people cast, the language that they speak. It's the mindset that they are of. Like, say, for instance, if I speak Spanish, I think Spanish. If I was raised Spanish, I think Spanish. I don't think English. That was part of the spell of Kingu that was casted. The spell was a language spell that led into a law, okay? Without that language, they couldn't put you under a law. The Leviathan is part of the witchcraft. So what I got from the Most High was circumology. Circumology is us being able to break the word all the way down to its letter. The master teacher took us through the etymology schools, you see, and taught us the language for a reason because he had to break the spell that we was under with the spell of our own spell, which is how we speak and how we spell and how we talk. What it deals with is deciphering the English language to the point to where it can no longer be spellbound or spellbinding to anyone, not even you. But what you can do is you can learn how to reverse spells on people with this science. It's a study on the nature of a person. People speak a language without speaking words. So that plays a part in the tones that they speak. The tones are connected to a behavior, okay? So when you deal with how a person is speaking to you, when a person gets loud, we call that getting hot. Temperature rises. That's part of the emotional body, the spectrum of emotions that deals with anger. If a person is tapping into your anger emotion, they're tapping into your ego. How did they find your ego and your anger emotion and then unlock it and bring it to the surface? It's very easy to do it through tone and the magic of spells. No matter what language you speak, if you say it in a certain tone, we all know this, you can cast it differently. Cast it is meaning throwing it at you. How is it thrown at a person? When you look at circumology and a person says to you, they call you the bitch, you can break that spell. You already know what the word means. Don't fall for the tone he's casting it at you in. It can make your consciousness impenetrable to insults. But at the same time, it also will give you the nerve to deal with people that annoy you. So a lot of people that are dealing in language in a base way, the way it was taught to them, only one way. While you know language is spells, we still don't understand how to cast our own and create our own. Well, I'm teaching you how right now. So the body is a machine driven by the ether, which means your body can be what? Possessed and hijacked by other ethers. That's part of the magic of spells and language.